Hey guys, so this one should be a slam dunk. One of the greatest books ever written by one of the greatest authors, Charles Bukowski. It's Ham on Rye. So I can't wait to open this up because this is actually the first time I'm looking forward to opening. So if you don't know or you haven't, or you should read everything that Charles Bukowski has ever written. You should watch his video or his documentaries. He beat his wife, so come on, go. It's like Cosby was funny still. Don't at me. That's what I picked. I'm gonna go with the end of the last chapter. So over here. Meanwhile, the boils got worse. I kept getting onto streetcar number 7 and going to LA County Central General Hospital. I began to fall in love with Miss Ackerman, my nurse of the squeezings. She would never know how each stab of pain caused courage to well up in me, despite the horror of the blood and the pus. She was always humane and kind. My love feeling for her wasn't sexual. I just wished that she would enfold me in her starched whiteness, and that together we could vanish forever from the world. But she never did that. She was too practical. She would only remind me of my next appointment. I don't know. If you haven't, I've been in places for a long time where I had basically, it was like the nurse had to come around every 24 hours or every 8 hours sometimes. I've been messed up. And they'd have to take blood from you, and you knew the good ones, you knew the bad ones, and you're like, at least she's good at this. And then at some point, you're like, I'm gonna have a bruise on my arm. It's not to complain. I mean, you put yourself in that place, but I understand where he's coming from. Where it's not like a physical I love you kind of feeling. It's like, at least this one is good at her job. That sounds horrible. I never had a male nurse. I don't know. But I definitely had like a track of things up my arm from a bunch of different nurses, and I knew exactly which one would do it right and which one would do it wrong. That's the kind of problem that you run into when you're kind of a shithead like me. But you do get to know. I mean, I had at one point, everybody was sitting around me at this rehab, and everybody knew I had high blood pressure, so I wasn't let out until I had low blood pressure. And what they did was they just sit around and look at the number. It was like watching a game on Sunday kind of thing. Like, I was always over because I had high blood pressure. And so, because I had high blood pressure, I wasn't allowed to partake in anything, which was actually good, and I agreed with it. I didn't have to try to climb up like poles and do the rock climb wall. I don't know. There's a lot of climbing involved. Anyway, I'm just thinking back. Nothing else to add. Actually, 1,000 things more to add. I'll save them for later. Maybe they'll all be in the next one. So thank you, sir.